And as promised, we have a VIP guest today, Beauty and Brains. I tell you, this girl's got it all. A successful entrepreneur indeed, really. Her name is Emma Imperial. She is the president and CEO if of Imperial Homes Corporation. And this is how I describe her. Very briefly, a woman of grace and power, succeeding in a man's world, venturing into business where no man has previously dared. So no man dares, and who's the first to dare? A woman. But of course, the Filipina can. The first real estate developer categorized as social entrepreneur. And with that, she received a whole IT system grant from Silicon Valley. I have to ask her about these details. I'm so intimidated, my brains cannot arrive. Sharing prosperity with low-income employees by saving on electricity. This is what we're gonna discuss. How did this girl do this? Why didn't anyone think about that? We think about solar power and we think about the big businesses. Well, she's got not only beauty and brains, but she's got heart. She loves the masses, the low-income level people. And she wants to help them save money in a very simple way by still using what they're using every day, but saving on electricity. How? I will let her tell you. I cannot explain it as well as she does. And her main message to millennials is this: if you have an innovative business for the greater good of mankind, earlier on, you can make money like Imperial Homes and still be recognized as a social enterprise. And this is what I want to learn together with you here on the show. People think to be a social enterprise, you have to starve and not make money. Well, she wants the millennials to understand you can make money and you can be a social enterprise at the same time. So I would like to introduce now President and CEO of Imperial Homes Corporation, Ms. Emma Imperial. Here you go. Big round of applause. Hello. Okay, take your mic. Okay, here you go. Okay, let me shake the hand of this lovely lady. Hi. That's the hand of success. I'll shake it longer. Maybe by osmosis, it's gonna kind of rub on me. So there's your little blue light, and say hello to the world, your family and friends.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be here with a very good friend of mine.
Yeah, Miss B for you.
Yes, B. Okay.
There's your little blue light. Any people that you'd like to greet? I know you have someone abroad and your kids, right?
Yeah, my son was listening to me right now, and all the Imperial Homes employees who are so passionate about the concept of solar-powered mass housing. Hello there. I'm here again.
Okay, so that is what you have over here. First, you said solar power. Then you said mass housing. In the first place, Teki Don Don, can you help us with the chair over here? Okay, so when people say mass housing or just plain housing, that's a man's world, construction, right?
Yes, it's very much of a man's world because most of the engineers are all men, and most of the technical people are all men. But it doesn't stop me from doing anything on the man's world. So,
my goodness, I mean, look at this lovely lady. Teki Don Don, come here for a while. How old were you when you started going into mass housing and construction?
I think I was 23 years old.
My goodness, everybody must have
So I'm now 12 years old now.
12 years old. Teki Don Don, can you fix her chair? Can you help her put it higher? Okay? Okay, so what gave you the courage to do that at 23? Because didn't they bully you, treat you like a kid, or kind of, give you the runaround, pass you around when you started?
No, first of all, I started in a man's world after after school, I was an analyst with the Yala Group, and then I went to heavy equipment. I was
What's a girl?
working.
What's a cute girl like you doing in heavy equipment?
I
It's so not you.
Yes, I always liked challenges, so I didn't like analysis and research. So from there, I became an assistant to the vice president selling heavy equipment. And at that time, I was surrounded by engineers. Most of them are men. There was no woman except me, and I topped the selling, and I sold so many heavy equipment. In fact, Ayala asked me to run the bulldozer at one time.
You can run a bulldozer?
Yeah, at the
Oh
time
my
when
gosh.
when I was still younger.
Oh my goodness. So I think they bought from you because they were afraid you'd bulldoze.
Maybe, maybe.
My goodness gracious,
So I like to be in a place where there are a lot of challenges, and mainly the man's world. I don't know. It attracts me so much to be in that world.
So you didn't like girly stuff.
No, never.
Okay, so don't mess around with this lady because you're in trouble if you do. Okay, so that's what it was. You're not intimidated, and I'm sure they gave you a tough time because that's how it is, right? When you first enter, how did you rise above that and prove yourself worthy?
I think if I'm gonna tell my advice to the millennials, that once you're in that field, I'm always try to look good, and look clean and pretty with my clothes and all that. But when I start opening my mouth, all the intelligent things comes out. If they ask me what is the horsepower of the bulldozer, what is the capacity of the tractors, I can answer all of that, and they will just get so amazed.
Okay, so this is a bright girl. You make the most of the girly stuff and you make the most of the guy stuff, right? So you come in looking all girl, and then you open your mouth, and then that's it. The IQ comes out.
Yes.
Question. All throughout the years, so you went from mass housing, we'll go into the details later, but I want to make the millennials listen. What was the worst feedback ever that you got when you were starting, and how did it help you perhaps go and dare some more to venture into their world, the man's world? I'm sure you know how it is. They give you awful feedback to discourage, if not hurt you.
Well, when I was very successful, I get hurt when these older men try to make a hit on me, and I tell them, and they ask me, do you don't have to work, I'll give you everything, a
Oh my.
condominium and all that. And then I tell them, hey, you know what, I can do that stuff, maybe I can give it back, I can give you that. So
Okay.
these are the challenges of a woman in a man's world.
You don't let them bully you.
No.
Okay, so 3 bells for you. Okay, so how were you brought up? I'm just curious to have an open mind and not let anything daunt you, not let all of these, well, they're bullies, to not let you down. Because, first of all, the millennials, you were a millennial. If you were today, you'd be a millennial, no? So the young, many times when they're bullied by the big boys, the ones who have the money, the ones who are in a field that no one has dared to venture, they get discouraged, they lack grit. What is it that you grew up with that you don't give up?
Well, I guess it was I believe that there's a saying that anything that you are before 10 years old is what you are. So when I was younger, I was given some kind of responsibilities by my parents, and my parents asked me to take care of my siblings, and I think from that time I was really very used to being a disciplinarian, and the dominant thing in me. Plus, of course, I'm a pure waray.
I have no intention of ever having an argument with this girl. So that's what it is. So I want to tell the youth who have little children, you start to mold them to have determination and direction and responsibility while they're young.
Yes.
So it's not a good idea to spoil the kids.
No, definitely not.
So what I tell you, Emma, what can you say about these parents who give their kids everything that they become so bratty simply by explaining, and because when I was young I didn't have, so I want them to have everything I didn't have. Is that a good idea?
No, it's not a good idea because I also had that kind of experience because my boys were given a lot by us, the parents. But I had an experience with a friend, and they're very wealthy, successful couple, and then they have three girls. Then a boy. Boy came out, and so therefore, what do you expect? You're supposed to
Ay,
spoil the boy.
ex,
But when I had this experience with them, they were in one of our resorts. I had a resort, and I saw the couple just giving one toy at a time to the boy, and I said, "My God, he's using this police car as an airplane, using it as a ship, and he's using it as a train. Can't you give him more toys? Why is he?" So the father said, Emma, you've got to use and exhaust all the imagination of the little boy so that they become more intelligent as they grow up. The more you give them toys, then the more their intelligence are not disciplined or not disciplined to think.
so therefore I like that. So the parent had an open mind. He was of the belief that not because you have more money you will buy everything and just
Yes.
give it on a silver platter.
Yes. If I were to do it all over again, I would have done that.
Wow. What you're trying to say is that that parent actually was able to mold his kids to have open minds, to figure out what this one thing could be beyond what it obviously was.
Yes.
Interestingly, let me ask you, how did that make you want, I mean, there you want to be in a man's world, right? Something tough, but why construction? Why mass housing? And why particularly now? Let's bullseye. Why solar power for mass housing? It's just the first time I ever heard it. Come on, tell people your day. Solar power mass housing, right?
Well,
Amazing.
first of all, solar powered mass housing because we have so much sun
Yeah.
in the Philippines. And I always like to do things that are new, innovative.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I was starting my business, I was always doing the first poultry farm, the first Montessori, the first teachers program. And since I was very much into low cost housing, I was one of the biggest socialized housing developer. I was always thinking of doing things for the massa, for the low income group. and
Interesting.
and that thing came about when I kept on traveling in Europe, and I would see a lot of houses in a country with lots of winter, and yet they're using solar. And so I say to myself, how can my country not have solar when in fact we have the sun all over the year round, all year round? So that started it, and then I started being a research. I'm an economist. I started
Wow.
making a research in Denmark, where I saw some factories, and then I went also to China, the other side of the world, where they make other stuffs, the solar solutions, and Italy and all of that. Ended up 4 years ago putting small solar in my small houses, but these are small. It can only light up three bulbs, and then charge. So when there's a storm during the Reming and the Yolanda, all the houses that I put the small solar solutions, they were the only ones that have that the light.
Amazing. 3 bells. So what it's very rare that I don't talk, in reaction, punto por punto, point by point. But you got, my jaw's just hanging open, right? So Emma, what you're saying is you really chased your dream. You had something in your heart for the masses, and you've been in mass housing for how many years now?
33 years now.
What?
33 years.
33 years, and you were just born 2 years ago. I mean, amazing. So, see, if you think it would be enough that she's giving low cost mass housing, but she wanted to give even more, right? So, what I'm listening and hearing here is that you literally and physically went around the world to find the best package the best product that you could incorporate to give the masses here a better life, right? So solar is expensive. How is it? You explained to me, but I'm not as bright as Emma, people out there, right? That when they get low cost housing, it's 30 years to pay from Pag-ibig, right?
Yes.
O Pag-ibig, plugging, that's two mentions already. And you were able to incorporate the solar panels. Is that what it's called?
It's called solar solutions. You know, the one on top of your roof is the solar panel. The one that makes it, converts it into DC for your appliances.
Power, yeah.
It's called inverter. So the whole stuff is called solar system or solar solution.
Okay, so therefore, the whole solar package, maybe
Yes.
people can
Solar
understand.
package.
The
Yes.
whole solar package was integrated into the 30-year plan of Pag-ibig.
Yes, correct.
You're brilliant. No one thought of that, huh?
Yes.
Again, big round of applause for Emma Imperial of Imperial Homes Corporation. Okay, so you see, Emma, why is it that some people like you can have an open mind and move into action, whereas many people claim to have an open mind, claim to be creative, claim to be innovative, claim to listen to feedback, but they just can't get the action right? What, I hope you don't mind sharing. What is it that you have? What is it that you eat? I don't know, that you're able to do this, and many of us, myself included, can't do it. What is the missing link? The obvious missing link. What is it? Common sense? I don't know. What is it?
No, this is what I always say to the young people. If you believe in something, don't let it go. Embrace it. Because if you do, you'll end up successful. In 4 years ago, people were laughing at me because
Yeah.
solar solutions, or this kind of system is very expensive.
Mhm.
But I still could not believe it, because every time I look up, the sun is free. And at that time it was really expensive, but I was just saying, there's something there. And solar is from the sun. How can you go wrong, right? So that's how I felt it, and I really worked on it, in spite of all the people telling me that
Can't
there's
be
nothing
done.
in it. There's nothing in it. You're just wasting your time. It's just good as a feature of your house, but just to make it pretty, but not to make it to give them savings, or to get an impact on their life. And I continued with it.
Okay, see, myself included, I always thought that solar power was only for the wealthy because I can't afford it, right? So I was thinking, oh, so it's for the big boys, right? But clearly you were able to package it to make it affordable. That is the blind spot.
Yes.
Where most of us didn't get to go, because we were like, solar panels are expensive, solar packages and systems and solutions are expensive, and we stayed there. And myself included, we like to think we have open minds, but you have a very, very, very universally open mind. And I want to, get some lenses one day and crack that open and figure out what is that one link in there that you have that we don't. Okay, so I guess your message is, don't let anyone get you down, even if they say it can't be done. It didn't happen overnight.
No, that didn't happen overnight, because, as I said, nobody can stop me. So I put the small panels with all the solutions on my small houses. And one day, this big guys from Belgium was saying, "What is this? What is this young girl, or not young?" I got young.
Young girl. Affirm it.
No,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what is that crazy girl doing, putting those small solar on the roof? And then they were so amazed with my passion, and so they called for a meeting, and I just simply told them, we have 3 million backlog homes in the Philippines. If you put
Wow.
all the solar on the roof, you're gonna have solar farm, like you can't imagine. And the Belgians, just like, they got so shocked, and they said, "Oh wow, come on, Emma, let's sign." So we signed up, and we put up our company together.
That's very interesting. Now, there's something about you and Silicon Valley. I want you to inspire. Okay, all of you techies out there, all of you social media and internet savvy people, she's got the Silicon Valley thing. We don't. Come on, tell us about it.
Yes. When I did the first launching of the solar powered community in Batangas, all of the accolades, all of the recognitions, the awards by World Bank, United Nations, they're all recognitions in paper, you know. But one day I need to have a big system for my company, because then the sales are being coming in, and the phenomenal increase in our sales was just being experienced by the company. So we need a system just like an SAP, an Oracle, or a NetSuite. But we didn't have that big money to spend for this kind of system. So every time I would present to to SAP and Oracle and to NetSuite, I would present my concept, which earned us a lot of awards. And guess what? When the rest would like to give a small discount, but then NetSuite said, "Oh my God, Emma, you have there is a program in Silicon Valley that gives grant to companies that are giving contribution to the world, like if you're helping climate change, or you want to help people have freedom to get out of poverty, this is exactly your program." And then my eyes just really, then it said, "Okay, then we submit the document to Silicon Valley." And I was in a hurry. I said, "How long does it take?" I said, "A month." But guess what? We got a letter from them after a week that he said,
Wow.
"You are now a grantee." Can you imagine a
1 week.
grant? A grantee. That means we are getting a grant from them of about we're saving about 4 to 12 million pesos a year, because our company is doing good for mankind.
Okay, so what you're trying to say here is don't just have a business about me, 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 me. I want to make money for me, 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 me. And I want to be famous because I. It's always I, me, and myself, right? And
Yeah.
here you are, because you were having something in your heart for the masses, the big boys actually, and it's funny, no, halfway around the world are the ones who recognized you for it and rewarded you for it. So imagine, here you are, a girl in a man's world, the Silicon Valley people, you have a grant, you have your IT needs. I tell you, uh, duh. So imagine, you get me speechless here. And look at this girl. I mean, there are many people who are what so much, much, much older and claiming to be much wiser, but they didn't see the blind spots. And that's where you have an open mind. And Noriel Maghirang said, she has an open mind, and like a cup of coffee, Miss V can wake your mind up. But you see, Noriel, you think I can wake your mind up. This is the real deal. She's got an open mind that's awake all the time. So I have here some notes that I gathered while talking to you on some tips on how to chase your dream. She wants to help the millennials learn. She said start in an early age. So yeah, I'm a senior citizen. So is it too late for me? So it would have been better if people started like you did in their 20s or maybe 30s. Nowadays, it's a little bit late now. No? People are starting, the startups are in their 20s.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Yeah. But the only thing I could tell you guys is that um, do something that will help a lot of people. The mass, and especially don't be afraid to touch the lower income group, because
Ah,
that's where you feel a lot of commitment, because when you see it really working, then you start working more, because
you see the
you see
rewards.
the reward in their faces, and all of that. So I was really amazed that I was given a social enterprise grant, because I'm a real estate developer, and a real
Yes.
estate developer makes money. And I said,
Yes.
you must be kidding me, because I have to make money. Even if I'm doing small houses, I need to make money. And said,
Yes.
no, it's okay. You are different. And so I was so happy because I still make money, and I'm not a foundation, but still I'm
Yeah.
already categorized as a social enterprise. And you guys can also be like that.
My goodness. So, Malumar, Fori, Mercader, and the people out there, I tell you, everyone's tuned in. I guess your mind just does not look at the ordinary in an ordinary way. You see, mass housing is such an ordinary word, but here you have Emma Imperial who sees the possibility of the extraordinary in the ordinary. I think people are interested to know your company name, your contact number, your Facebook. You gotta see your Facebook, right? How many hits a day are you getting?
700.
700 hits a day. Come on. The little blue light, tell people all your contact details. Go.
Well, you just have to go to the Facebook of Imperial Homes Corporation, and you're gonna see a lot of inquiries from different parts of the Philippines, including outside Singapore, Hong Kong, Abu Dhabi. And the attraction there is that when you buy from us, you save 50% of your electricity bill. So from paying 2,300, you only pay 1,000 amortization in the bank, but it's part of your house. So in effect, your savings empowers you the freedom to buy more.
There you go. So that's how you're actually having empowerment. The money that you used to spend on electricity is the money now you can spend to buy food, clothing, shelter, or just have a good time and eat, right?
Yeah, I was telling a friend, 1,300 pesos saving can give you like beautiful meal, like 10 chicken dish a month, which is very good for something for low income group. And also they can buy another electric fan,
Oh
which is
yeah, that's true.
for each room.
So it gives them more money power.
Yeah, freedom to have more
Yeah, and
things to buy.
also that story you told me. I mean, before you wrap up, like everybody in the neighboring villages had a brownout, and then your mass housing had lights.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. That is
Yeah, the girl was, the lady was so happy because it's only her that has a light, and then all of the neighbor were trying to ask her if they can charge their phone. And so they said, maybe I'll make this as a business,
Yeah.
because then they can charge with a fee.
Yeah,
So
of
it's
course.
just-
See, it's interesting when you're the only house, okay, that has power during a brownout because you're using Emma Imperial's solar powered homes. Then you can even have, yeah, you're right. You can have a little business. People can come and charge. And here you are, you've got your fan, you're cooking, and you can be with your laptop and your gadgets, right?
yes, yes.
I tell you. So, Emma, what my question is, how do you deal? I'm sure it was not always up. There were downs. How did you deal with those low times? I'm sure there were some along the way. How did you deal with it? Because it's difficult in this business, right?
When you know your business, uh, there's really nothing to feel down about, because for everything that you face, a little problem here, if you know the ins and outs of your business, you'll be able to get solutions to it. As I said to all my employees, that problems in business, if you know how to run your department or you run your work, it's a good enzyme. It's a good enzyme because you can solve it. It's a what you call the good enzyme is compared to the bad enzymes. The bad enzyme is the one that you experience when you have problems with the family. But with me, when it comes to work, it's always a good enzyme because I can solve my problems.
I think what Emma's trying to say here, and listen up with that bell, is that in SWOT analysis for business, it would be good to have your personal SWOT analysis. Know your strengths and weaknesses, and that's how you're able to be on top of the game. You know what your strengths are. And each of us has weaknesses, and you just focus on your strengths, those courses you studied in college, and the personal grit and determination you have. And you went into a field that uses those talents and that characteristic. I, I, I would like to agree with Emma here because some people are given money and told, oh, here's some money, I'll finance you, start a business. And they search like, oh, what business is going to make money? And they have no skills, they don't have the personality, they go into it, and before 1 year's over, the money's gone, and it's disastrous, right? It's a failure. So I think what you're saying is know your strengths, go in at the right time. Timing is of the essence as well. I mean, selling the right product to the right people. It's like, I don't want to sell an air conditioner to an Eskimo, right?
Yeah, talking about selling the right product to the right people, we always have to think of the target market that we're selling to, and the mass housing market. That's a lot of the percentages there. It's like when you pay like there's a payment of 3,500 a month, and you get already a house and lot together with your solar. There's 5,000. You have a solar plus a nice house. So it's really the combination of affordability. So we have 5 projects right now around Luzon, and hopefully we will have to be in other places where there are brownouts, because we're getting a lot of inquiries from Facebook. Sometimes some people are getting mad because we're not in Bulacan, we're not in Antipolo, we're not in other areas where there's brownout.
You're in Bulacan, you're in Batangas.
I'm in Batangas, we're
Okay.
in Silang, we're in Iriga, we're in Legazpi, we're in Cabanatuan, so these are the places we're in.
Okay, you go on Facebook, Emma, and tell her where you are if that's what you want. And I have a question here from Noriel saying that the components and everything are expensive. How is that affordable? I think Emma has addressed that. It is packaged into the 30-year Pag-ibig payment plan, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so very quickly, Emma, let me ask you on a scale of 0 to 10, how important is feedback in any business, entrepreneurship particularly? 0 to 10?
10.
Well, of course, no feedback, disaster. Now, in being an innovative trailblazer, how important is having an open mind? 0 to 10.
10.
And this girl is a perfect 10. So thank you very much, Emma Imperial, President and CEO of Imperial Homes Corporation. I want to shake that hand again and give Emma a big round of applause. Don't go away in a while. Can you give her her bag, because we're gonna take pictures? Taki Don Don. Give her her bag. Okay, hold on. So there you go. I would like to thank everybody who greeted us, and there's many more, and I'm gonna read more of them next week. And it says, from Malumar for Mercader, Miss V, my office mate told me that your show is like coffee, 3 in 1 plus more. So thank you very much to all the people who are with Malu Marfori Mercader. Thank you. So again, thank you to all the people who have been with Miss V here on Show and Tell for the past 4 years. And now we're starting year 5 with our theme, Open Mind. So as we close the show, let me say thank you very much, Malumar for Mercader. Thank you very much, Noriel Maghirang. Sunny, I miss you. And of course, I love you, Dodong. So there you go. I'm Miss V, director, producer, and host of Show and Tell every Monday at 3 p.m. Manila time, live on Facebook, Show and Tell Radio, live on DWBL, Show and Tell Radio with Miss V. Until next week, on Show and Tell Radio, this is your host, Miss V, saying, mga pamilya, kapuso, kapatid, kako, sa katropa, kabata, kaibigan, ka Facebook, ka blog, ka Twitter, ka Instagram, at ka YouTube, I love you, mabuhay!